let me. I was raised as a Jesuit Catholic Colombian altar boy. Okay, I mean incense does it for me. But I broke with the church after a while. But let me point out that there is an increasing body of evidence that the Jesuits are the synagogue of Satan.
Whitney Webb's father is Richard Webb. He's based in Sarasota, Florida. Oh, there's Florida again. Heavy intelligence country. Ask Muhammad Atta and the Venice Flying Circus. Richard Webb is a multi-zillionaire lawyer and property developer. Whitney got a good start in life. Good for her. I presume she's one of those latte-sipping lefties, you know. All for the revolution and all. Here is part of what Hopsicker quoted from Whitney Webb. Quote, "While Russia often serves as a useful boogeyman in service to this agenda of promoting militaristic policies, the odd moments when those same policies actually benefit Russia and do not run into hysterical opposition from the political and media establishment provide a rare glimpse into the real motivations behind Cold War 2.0 and the dubious validity of the media-driven narratives upon which current anti-Russian hysteria is based." End quote. What an astounding journalist she is. Whitney, the wonder gal of dissident journalism, missed all those Russian oligarchs living in Israel. She missed the long-term close relationship between Netanyahu and Putin. She missed Israel, Russia, China and Iran working together on the Belt and Road, all keen to push the United States out of Eurasia, the Stalinist dream. In fact, any analysis on that group and the Belt and Road appears off-limits to the wonder kid Whitney. She knows what she's doing. She's part of a group that includes Dr. Kevin Barrett, who came to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and asked me to join up with them to, quote, torpedo the petrodollar.
I didn't go out with Dr. Mahathir yet, but I don't even know if Dr. Mahathir would find a better restaurant than this. Well, people, come to Kuala Lumpur. You know, we should have a convention here. We're talking, or some kind of meetup, and there are different ideas here, but one of them that I've been floating around with some local friends is having a conference on fixing the monetary system, because that is becoming a big issue as the balance of forces reaches the point that Dr. Mahathir can actually say, here, let's try and set up a gold-backed Asian currency alternative to the dollar so we can avoid the U.S. sanctions and trade with Iran. So he knows how far he can push things, but now he's pushing them further because he knows he can get away with it because there are forces in Russia and China, for example, that agree with him. Because there are forces in Russia and China, for example, that agree with him. In Europe, even, a lot of the high rollers now agree with him that there's a problem with this petrodollar hegemony and the whole banking system run by Zionists, as you know. So anyway, he's now pushing for this alternative gold-backed Asian currency. Could be really, and this is the place to do it, because right now Mahathir, the guy who actually wants to help torpedo the petrodollar and change the world's currency system, is back in power, riding high here.
These people are sitting in the same room in Iran and Beirut, Lebanon, as Russian GRU asset Alexander Dugin. Hello? Isn't there a $10 million bounty for foreign election influence peddlers? And of course, here's Dr. Barrett with good old Robert David Steele.
So let's turn it over. Robert, how you doing?
Well, Kevin, I consider you a very, very unique person, and I particularly value all of the work that you've done in authorship and also in your Muslim conversion after receiving a PhD. That makes you kind of an American icon.
Richard Silverstein actually quit Mint Press News when they refused to run his series on Russian KGB penetration of the highest reaches of Israeli government and industry. Most people are still unaware at just how powerful all the Russian emigres and their children are today in Israel. Most of them don't even identify as Jewish. Lily Galili wrote a great book, The Million Who Changed the Middle East, about the massive waves of Russian and Ukrainian immigration into Israel. When you understand that fact, you'll begin to understand what's going on in Israel. Whitney, the wonder child of journalism, busy exposing Epstein along with 5,000 other mainstream and alt media sites, appears to have forgotten all those Russian links in New York via Chabad Lubavitch and others back to Israel. All those images of Chabad with Netanyahu, Putin and Trump appear to go unanalyzed. Dr. Steve Pieczenik, Kissinger's right-hand man and regular on Alex Jones' InfoWars, recently proclaimed the US Constitution, quote, outdated.
I have never been an aficionado of the Constitution. The reason for it, it's outdated.
And Jared Kushner is being tapped for 2028 US president.
It will go on to Pence. From Pence, it will go on to Ivanka or Jared Kushner.
Also appears to go unnoticed by the journalistic dissident who claimed to be based in Chile when she was in fact in Florida. Same planet, I guess, close enough. Kushner, Chabad, etc., there will be no analysis from Whitney.